Most of them end up as instant coffee, but a growing number are roasted in small operations like this for the real coffee market. For a good cup of coffee, it's stored for much longer than a week, they lose flavour and go rancid. But just as important as the beans is the coffee machine. There's no argument. An espresso machine makes the best coffee. It does so because it extracts the very heart, the very essence of the beans. Inside here is a big boiler full of very hot water. When the lever is pulled, that hot water is forced under pressure through finely ground beans. The results? 1 cup of rich, syrupy coffee in less than 30 seconds. Real instant coffee. And in essence, that's the big attraction of the country's hot new espresso bars.
Now what's the meaning of the line? Tell me. Well, it's like dreaming of your goals, ambitions. I'm feeling free. I'm on this mission to achieve. Choose what? What's in your mind? This is what you believe you should gain. Satisfaction becomes a shining example of test.
Espresso. For the time being, less than 1 in 5 coffee drinkers are into it, but the signs are that's changing fast.
White, flat white, short black, double espresso. Now, the increase in our consumption of real coffee, not instant, over the past few years has been dramatic. Bart and Task are up early with the cafe set.
Not much after 5 in the morning, the process began that's led to the release of this wonderfully aromatic cloud. By 7, regulars at Auckland's Atomic Cafe are in for their first caffeine hit. This one's a cappuccino without chocolate.
Would it be fair to say that you're a little bit bleary-eyed and in need of a sort of coffee fix?
Very fair. Absolutely.
What is it that is so important about the coffee to get you going first thing?
Well, I'm probably an addict. That's probably the main thing.
I'm probably addicted to having a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, but I do have decaf latte, so I can fool myself. I'm not really poisoning my system too much.
Now, it's coffee that's the common denominator. What matters to you about coffee?
It's got to taste good.
Subjective, and with the springing up of so many coffee bars and cafes all over New Zealand, the Kiwi consumer is spoiled for choice. Then there's the variety of coffee beans. Smooth Colombian, full-bodied from Papua New Guinea, Guatemalan nuttiness or tangy Kenyan, which could become a Mela Bella or a latte, maybe a railway long black, or perhaps one of these.
That looks more like medicine than a drink. What is it?
That's a ristretto, which is sort of like a short black, but with half as much water, twice as much coffee. Good way to have it.
What is it about coffee that makes it the drink that seems to be so important to people?
Well, it's partly the flavour and it's partly the romanticism of it all.
Certainly romance has long sold coffee. Note the twinkle in the eye of 30 years ago.
Ah, that's real coffee. Fags coffee.
The use of coffee as a social mixer.
For you and friends, it's the coffee that's made by Greg.
The meeting of more than minds in the less coy 90s.
Oh, I think they could get used to it.
And the current coffee-born romance in a New Zealand valley.
You left this at the store?
And there's another feel-good dimension for Kiwi coffee. The glow of sanctimony from buying a trade-aid shop's politically correct coffee.
Most of the coffee that's consumed in the world is grown in the world's poorest nations. And in real terms, the prices they're paid for coffee are at the lowest point they've been for 60 years. So we're working with groups who grow in a cooperative way and process their own coffee so that they get a fair return for what they're producing. Guilt-free coffee gives you a buzz, but it gives you a good feeling as well.
Clearly, in the coffee world, things never change.
That's good coffee. Greg's Instant Coffee. Greg's, such good company.
Except maybe the cups. Now, if you want to know what the latest coffee is, it's a macchiato, a short espresso with a little foam on top, but no milk.
こちらのカフェは最近オークランドでお母さんたちに大人気。どうしてかっていうと、裏庭のテラスに砂場があって誰でも自由に遊べるようになっているのです。これならいつも子供たちが目の届くところにいるので、お母さんたちのランチやおしゃべりも弾みますよね。そして子供用のカプチーノまであるのです。嬉しいことになんと1杯目はタダなんですって。子供たちよりもお母さんたちが喜んじゃいそうですね。これこれ、いくらタダだからってお膝にこぼしちゃダメですよ。お洗濯するのはお母さんなんだからね。そしてこの国のいろんなお店にはお母さんが自由に買い物ができるようにおもちゃを置いてるところがとっても多いんです。ニュージーランドって本当親子に優しい国ですよね。
Dada Africa, which means Sister Africa, is the only African shop, or African culture center in all of Australasia. Traditionally, Africans are, well, let's say, people who are Muslims who do not drink. So the normal social outlets that would be available to people in this country are not so much available to African residents and students. Coffee is one of those things that you can sit down with people, you're having a conversation, it's a flow, it's an exchange, it's a feeling, it's a mood, it's a process of sharing something. And coffee, and particularly strong African coffee, is earth. You know, it is dark like the earth, it is solid, it is ebony, you know, it is energy, it is mother. Talk to me.
This is a 1959 Pavoni espresso machine that we've restored from 2 old wrecks that were underneath someone's house. It's unique and going well.
In New Zealand, we had a great choice of coffee. There was black or white, Kona or instant. But along with the dining out revolution has come the coffee house uprising. Hundreds of coffee places like this are springing up all over the country as Kiwis demand more choice in their coffee as well as in their food. Okay, Chris, give me the beginner's guide to ordering coffee.
Okay, well, short espresso, got to be a double to give you that hit. This one is a mega mucho. There's a few variations that we do in the railway cup. Borgia is got chocolate milk on the top and sometimes called a mochaccino more often in Australia, so we don't use that term. And cappuccino, of course. Marichetto is sort of a new one. It's like a latte, still a double shot of coffee, about halfway, and then equal amount of hot milk.
Well, what's the difference between a marichetto and a latte and a white and was it the Melabella with the coffee to there and then hot milk?
No, latte's got a lot more water and a lot more milk in it, so therefore it's not as strong as a marichetto. And a malabella is basically a latte with lots of froth on the top, whereas a latte is flat.
God, it's gone well beyond the days of a cup of Nescafe, isn't it?
I didn't actually make a soya cappuccino or a low-fat latte or a decaf low-fat soya.
Just coffee, you know, good coffee.
No, I don't think anyone really knows, and we're all just bluffing each other, but we just go, no, we're going for the taste that we like. That's what me and Tim do. We're just going for the taste that we like.
Right, there is a test where you make a really strong short on the top, and if it doesn't sink, then it's not ready yet because it's too fresh. And I haven't tried that one yet, but I read it in a book once anyway.